College football is back, and we're back live on the Big Mountain.
Welcome back to another Wednesday evening and another live picks episode from the Big Mountain.
Yeah.
And Steve,
Boom.
we are going NIU all in.
Boom.
NIU pennant, NIU glass for my Dweller Brew.
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies. And unfortunately, we don't pick them this week because they're off. But we got our third. I was saying on our pre-show, our third box. I didn't do a video for our first. That was Texas State. That happened a little while back. But our third box from NIU, and let me tell you, they gave us all the goodies.
Yeah, very cool.
You confiscated the trucker hat.
As soon as I saw the trucker hat, this is my thing. So I appreciate. They knew that. They
did.
They
the
saw
polo and the trucker hat.
Yeah, polo and a trucker hat.
So your polo's over there.
Yeah.
You can wear it another time. I threw this guy on really, really quick. I'm thinking, we were talking, maybe we start both a Dweller Brew. I want to maybe get a shelf for above the logo where we can put the cans. And then maybe we start like a pennant thing behind us. Because I've been told that our set, if you will,
A little sparse?
It's not happy enough for some people.
Okay.
I like the cleanliness of it because we're the entertainment,
Absolutely. And we got that awesome logo.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you need? It's like the trifecta of greatness right here. But, I get it. I mean, that looks good there. I mean, I can see it there on the screen. That looks pretty damn good.
Steve, JY, and the TBM logo.
Absolutely. All right. Well, anyway, hey, thank you guys for being back with us. We already got a whole bunch of chatter in the cellar, which is fantastic. Let's look and see all who is here. Of course, we've got JEH. JEH, I'm going to be picking the Beaver game later. We've got Steven, who's a big Ohio Bobcat fan, and you're going to be picking that game.
Yeah, I mean, they've been having a really good season. Really strong start to the season.
Yeah. And I believe that, what happened to my scrolly thing? I don't know. But we got new to this back, was with us last week. We've got Jerry, Go Beavers, but is asking about their head coach, Las Vegas Larry, here at the beginning of the show using his member.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Emojis? His member symbols?
Emoji,
I don't know. Mountain West symbol. We've got Spence is back again. We've got Tyler here. He's a North Dakota State fan. Atomic Skull. I love that name. Atomic. You know who I haven't had in a while? Crazy Man. Can't remember his name. He always got the chat all fired up.
Our boy from Vegas.
I don't know.
Tommy Gunn?
No, not Tommy.
No. Like he's been here.
I'm pretty sure Jerry or JEH can remind me who the heck I'm talking about. But anyway, he hasn't been here for a while.
We haven't seen David Jorgensen in a while either.
True too.
He's a big Go Big Red fan, and they've had a great start to the season.
Moses is here. He's loving all of our stuff here. We've got Will in again. Will was the one that asked about the pre-show, so we made sure we did that. I see John here. He likes to give you a couple little jab. Well, he likes to jab me about drinking too much Dweller beer, but I'm one pint only tonight, so I think I can handle it tonight.
Is he one of the guys that jabs me about FSU picks?
He's a Penn State guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
He always says the we are. If I scroll down, he'll keep saying it.
We are.
Brad's saying go Gophers. Of course, you have a pick for them. Rumblings is here. I know a couple of our people that won 3 weeks ago, whatever the heck it was. I know Eric, I believe, told me he got his stuff. Hopefully, Rumbling. And who was the other person that won? I don't remember. Hopefully you guys got all your goodies. I got them sent out last week. That college football guy's in the house. Mr. Ed, haven't seen him in a live chat for a while, so that's awesome. Brady Moon, another one of my great followers on X. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but you guys are going for it, and it's going to be another good night.
Bill, that college football guy is there. He's asking if you're already a pint in.
No. I slur no matter what. It doesn't matter if I'm drinking. My as you know, I can talk fast sometimes.
Yes.
And
fast and loud.
Yes, I get louder. my words go a little faster than my brain. So, blah, blah, blah. That happens. What I need to do is slow down.
Slow it down now.
But I can't do that. There it is. John saying, a drunk we are.
Woo!
That's my man. Zyler here saying, Goal Knowles. Heck of a start for them as well.
Very good start. I don't think anyone will be giving me any crap tonight. Well, I'm not picking Florida State tonight.
That's right.
But
we got James here. Hello from Sacramento. I actually was texting. I mean, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
It's not really. I reached out to our friend Dr. Wood.
Yeah.
President of Sacramento State. said hello, how things were going, had a nice little conversation with him via text. And, yeah. And there's some things, but I'm not going to say right now. I bring that up because, he's from Sacramento and says hello from Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's where Dr. Wood is at. And yes, Bill, I promise I'm drinking one tonight. That's all I'm going to drink, at least on air. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. Before we get started on our picks, I want to start with where we've been at. We were asked last week.
Oh, yeah.
How have you guys been doing? So I put together a slide here about kind of, the first, what do you want to call it? It's 2 weeks plus the week 0, whatever.
First couple weeks.
The first couple weeks. That's the best way to say it. So I have the stats up here for you guys to take a quick look-see. Steve, and I don't have them written down, but you're, of course, as typical, you're over 500 on your locks.
Yes.
You're 4-3 right now, which is, how you roll. You crush the locks. I'm 2-2. It's like kissing your sister, but I'll tell you, it's better than being in the negative.
Oh, I got 3 locks this week, so I got a chance to go to 7-3. That's my goal, is to be 70% on my locks. So
okay, 70% is Steve's goal. You'll see the straight. So we don't pick them straight, but I keep track of them just to, Of course, you're 29-2.
Yeah.
In all of your straight win picks, and that's not what we do here. But I like to just show it. And then out of conference, for you, you'll see them go up as the season goes on. I'm putting all of Steve's Clemson, Florida State picks down there in that out of conference. When I pick UTEP, NIU, PAC-12, PAC-2, whatever, they're all going down in the out of conference. The conference totals are truly picks of the Big Ten and the Mountain West. And as you know, last week, I picked some over-unders.
Yes.
So they're included in the conference totals as well. That was, and I hit on both of my overs.
Yep.
So they go in the conference because I like to think I know kind of what I'm talking about. And I'm 15-8, which I'm very happy with.
Not bad at all. Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. So anyway, there we go. That is the stats through week 2. And we'll keep updating them.
Yeah, I'll be glad when we get after week 3, when the Big Ten stops playing these games that have spreads of 30, 40 points.
Yes. Very difficult.
Yeah, I hate those.
You have some tonight.
Yes, unfortunately.
So anyway, those are the stats. We'll keep them updated, and we always like to focus on our locks. Steve says the locks are really what you want to look at for us. We like to think we know what we're doing with our conference picks early on here, especially out of conference. Difficult because we don't know the teams they're playing nearly as well as the teams that are in our conferences. So that's part of the issues. All right, Steve, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready to roll. I want to make some picks, and I got 3 locks tonight. So
3 locks. Well, then, hey, let's hop to it, baby.
Roll.
You get to go first.
Okay, so rolling right into it. The first game. Now, this is one of those I hate these spreads. Indiana State, the Sycamores, which is the Larry Bird played there, alma mater of Larry Bird. At Indiana, at the Hoosiers. The line is 48.5. At first, I wasn't going to pick this game because there was no line when I submitted my picks, but a line came out. Here's the thing. Indiana is going to win this game. They're going to win easily. They're going to score as many points probably as they want to score, but just these really crazy lines, anything over 35 points, I've decided just to kind of go with the points and see how it works out. So I'm taking Indiana State plus the 48.5. I'm not betting this game. I don't encourage anybody to bet this game. I think it'll probably stay within that point margin, but it will be another very comfortable win, I think, for Indiana. They'll be able to do what they want to do and set themselves up for that September 20th matchup where they should be undefeated. Illinois should be undefeated. They're going to host the Illini on September 20th, which is going to be a massive game for the Big Ten.
Well, our producer did something cool tonight. He put us in our scoreboard.
Picture-in-picture box.
I love it. The scoreboard.
That's awesome.
So I just have to say that again
Yeah.
because I love it. Okay, so there's another 48 points. I mean, you're silly not to I'm sorry. I don't care who they're playing.
Exactly.
48 points is crazy. I mean, can Indiana blow through that? Yeah, they can. But if you're picking the game and you're committed to picking every Big Ten game, I threw this one on you kind of last minute.
Yeah. Well, the thing is Indiana could be up 52-0.
Right.
Let their foot off the gas. And Indiana State gets a late touchdown, in garbage time and gets the third string.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to go.
All right.
The next
No
one.
lock?
No lock. No lock on that. The next one's a little more exciting.
Okay.
So this next game, New Mexico at UCLA. This is one that we'll be both picking tonight, correct?
Okay.
So the line is 15.5.
Yes.
I'm happy with, if I'm a Mountain West fan, if I'm a Lobos fan, I'm happy with how the season got started so far.
Agreed.
It's a major rebuilding this year, and if I'm a UCLA fan, I am very unhappy with how the season has gone, how everything looks, the running game, everything outside of that one quarter against UNLV where they put up a lot of points. I'm going to take New Mexico plus the 15.5. I think the dysfunction, UCLA, I think, will win this game and probably win it by double digits. But I think that the dysfunction, there's enough dysfunction going on with that team, with the offensive line, with the coaching staff, that I think New Mexico keeps it close, keeps it maybe right about 2 touchdowns. So I'm taking New Mexico plus the 15.5.
You're right. I'll be picking this, so I'm not going to say anything yet. I'll hold my comments, but I believe this is the 6th game, Mountain West versus Big Ten. I believe it's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I agree with everything you said there about UCLA. Tommy Gunn says UCLA 31, New Mexico 21. So he believes that your pick is correct in terms of taking the 15.5 with New Mexico. And I just saw Zyler says his dad was a sycamore.
Ooh.
So, small world. We have a
maybe
the son of a sycamore. Is he a sapling?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he played basketball with Larry Bird.
That was a really bad joke.
Zyler, did your dad play basketball with Larry Bird? Let us know.
The odds are slim.
The thing about that Indiana State team, it was Larry Bird with like 5 dudes off the street. Like it was like 5 community college players and him, and they went all the way to the national championship game against the Magic Johnson and the Michigan State Spartans.
Surf City Bill thinks the line should be more like 5, 5.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
I honestly thought I was thinking 9.5 to 11.5, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right, Steve. That is your first 2.
Yeah.
Off we go.
Let's go. So the next pick, Oregon Ducks at Northwestern, in the little like lacrosse stadium next to the lake there. The line.
You love to give them the jab.
Well, no, it's a neat little stadium next to. It's just crazy that they're playing Big Ten. Like the Oregon Ducks are going to be coming and playing in this tiny little like high school football stadium next to the lake, but it's cool views this time of year. While
when Washington goes, they're going to feel right at home.
Yes, except for about 40 times smaller. I
understand.
But while this is only going on next year, the new Ryan Field will be built. That thing looks freaking amazing. It does, yes. Absolutely amazing. Yep. So, Oregon Ducks at Northwestern. Oregon is a 28.5 point favorite.
Okay.
I'm taking Oregon to cover the 28.5 points. We said in our 10 Big Things video, if anyone watched it, Oregon is trying to score all the points. So I'm taking Oregon minus 28.5, and I'm making that a Big Mountain ice cold lock.
Woo!
I just think Oregon right now, they're firing on all cylinders. Especially against teams that don't have the talent level as them, and Northwestern does not have anywhere near the talent level. So, Oregon, they're not letting their foot off the gas. They are trying to score every point they can, and I think Northwestern is in for a long day, and Oregon is just going to feast. So, I feel very comfortable. I think they'll win by 35 points probably.
Well, we got people saying 80, 75, 50. I mean, I don't see them being any less than 60, right? I think they'll score 60 points.
What's
the over-under on that? Or the over in that game?
I didn't even look at that.
I know you don't do that, but I'd be interested.
When the thing is I don't know if Northwestern's going to score a lot of points themselves because Oregon's got a lot of athletes on defense as well.
Okay.
All right, so that was our first
lock. You gave me that one early.
I did.
And the line was even lower early Sunday.
27.5, I think it was.
But, that's okay. You got a couple goodies on here, so I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, so the next, Central Michigan at Michigan. This is similar to the UCLA game to me. Central Michigan, off to an okay start there. Beat San Jose State, lost to Pitt. Yeah. I think they're probably overperforming a little bit. I think they'll be pesky. And I think there's just enough dysfunction with this Michigan team. Bryce Underwood has looked pretty good, but I'm still not sure that they have the weapons or maybe the coaching staff to really maximize his skills. I think it's still a growing experience for them. Michigan's the better team. They're going to win this game.
Sure.
Probably by 2 touchdowns plus. But I love Central Michigan getting the 27.5 points. I could see this being like a 20-6 game, or a 23-10 game. So I'm taking Central Michigan plus 27.5.
Well, they had a good game in week 1 there versus
Yeah.
San Jose State. And, you know.
And a lot of this is about the
I
dysfunction of
understand.
Michigan, and I just don't see them. I don't see them doing like a 52-6 game or something like that.
Right. Okay. All right.
Okay, next game, Wisconsin at Alabama. I'm taking Bama to cover the 20.5. I just think they're a lot better team all around. And yes, Alabama has some of their own dysfunction going on, but honestly,
do.
so does Wisconsin.
Yes, they do.
They're not necessarily firing on all cylinders. So this game was a blowout last year when it was in Madison at Camp Randall Stadium. I think it's going to be a blowout again. I think Bama kind of gets on track. And we just kind of see the same Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't know who's going to be their starting quarterback. The transfer, I forget what his name is, that came in from Maryland. He's been out hurt.
Wow.
That might be the same guy that played most of this game last year, and he didn't look very good. So I don't expect very many points out of Wisconsin. I think Alabama's going to want to flex their muscle. Their number one wide receiver is back, a guy who was getting a lot of hype preseason for like a Heisman Trophy winner, maybe number 1 draft pick. So I think Bama gets back on track, and I think they win this easily by 25, 30 points over Wisconsin. So I'm taking Bama to cover the 20.5.
Okay. I know you, when you did the preview for the season, you said Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is a big game for both teams, though, honestly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you don't think Wisconsin has much of a chance.
I don't think Wisconsin has much of a chance. And I think for Wisconsin this year, for them to kind of show they're back on track, it's going to be more about what they can do in the Big Ten. For Bama, yeah, I mean, they already have that out-of-conference loss to Florida State. So I'm sure a loss to Wisconsin at home would be terribly embarrassing. But I just don't see Wisconsin.
Okay.
They don't have the athletes. They don't have the players.
Okay.
They're not ready for that.
All right. Well, you are halfway now with your Big Ten pick.
Yes. Okay, so my next pick, this is a big one. Do we want to do anything, or we keep going?
I'm perusing.
Okay, all right. So the next game, USC at Purdue. USC is a 21.5-point favorite. I think they're rising up my charts. They're performing really well. So I'm going to go ahead and take USC to cover the 21.5 points, and I'm making it a big mountain, ice cold lock. I think Jaden Maeva is performing as one of the top 3 to 5 quarterbacks in the entire country, just like what we talked about for him coming into the season.
Yeah.
He's got the talent. He's now got another year of experience. He's playing in this Lincoln Riley system. And even more important Jaden Maeva is playing great, and that's huge. One of the big contributing factors is USC is running the ball really well. I think they're leading the country in, I think it's maybe yards per attempt.
Okay.
They're running the ball really, really well. So the defenses are having to be balanced, and Maeva's is picking them apart. And most of the USC starters, now they haven't had the toughest schedule in the world.
Okay.
But they just look like they're firing on all cylinders. They look like this is what I kind of finally expected a Lincoln Riley USC team to look like.
Yeah.
He's got the right quarterback. They've got their roster is loaded. They're firing all cylinders, and Purdue is not. I mean, they're still rebuilding.
Right.
I think they did. They got a win. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So which is good for them. They just don't have the talent. So I love USC to cover that 21.5. I probably would have locked it all the way up to 23.5.
I was going to say, I mean, I know you're locking it. Are you surprised by that line? It just seems so low to me.
I think that
I thought it'd be another touchdown, like 27.5.
I think just coming in, there was not enough. Like, I don't even think USC is ranked in the top 25. I think there was just not enough. A lot of these lines are about preseason, especially early in the season.
Okay.
Preseason expectations.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, if I handicapped this game, I would have made it 27.5, 28.5, and I would have locked it all the way up to 23.5. But I think it's people are late to catch up on USC.
Okay.
Maeva to me again looks great. We both I think put some money on him for the Heisman.
Yes.
I'm already getting a positive return. I can cash in at a positive rate, like a 20% profit, which would be fantastic. And I think those numbers are going to continue to climb. That dude is playing great. And I just USC huge upward trajectory right now.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you do one more pick, and then we're going to do our first poll.
Okay,
we'll get it out there. So you go for one more pick here, and I know the stable is absolutely loving our lock. He thinks our ice cold lock is fantastic.
Which one?
Which it is. The logo. The
logo. Yes,
the spinny Winnie,
yeah,
man.
very cool.
It's freaking fantastic. All right. Where you going next, Steve-O?
Okay, next game. Ohio Bobcats. Great start to the season. Unfortunately, that ends in Columbus this week. The line is 31.5. I think OSU easily covers that line. They just have so much talent. They're not only are they firing, week 1 against Texas, offense wasn't great. Last week, they really got on against a Grambling State team. They really got it going. I think they're going to want to continue to do that. Ohio Bobcats, good MAC team. They're going to have a good season this year. They just don't have the talent and the horses to run with Ohio State.
Sure.
I think Ohio State's going to want to show, hey, we're back on track. We're doing well. Want to keep up with the perceptions. Oregon right now is getting all the attention.
Yes.
And, Julian Sand, young quarterback, they're going to want to get him as many reps and experience as possible. I don't see them taking their foot off the gas. So I have Ohio. This is not a lock, but I have Ohio State covering the 31.5 points.
Okay. I thought it was a little bit of a big line for me. I mean, I know Ohio State's they're the big man on the block, but Ohio's a good team, man. I don't know.
They are a good team.
Steven, put your thoughts of this game in the chat. I want to know what Steven, our good Bobcat, a.k.a. Mac Genius,
These games are so hard when you have really, really talented teams against like a solid MAC team.
Yeah.
Because it could be one of those where the MAC team just hangs on, or Ohio State has so much talent. If they just start getting a big lead, and then Ohio's playing from behind, it starts to snowball, that kind of thing. You never know which way it's going to go. But Ohio State's just so talented.
Blood in the water situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you remember last year against Indiana, who was a good team.
Yes.
Once the snowball started rolling against them, that game went the other way in a hurry.
Well, Steven says he just wants to get through Saturday.
Exactly.
Let's just get past Saturday and then...
Because they're having a really good season.
Yeah,
they're on track to do well in the MAC. So.
Yeah. So let's get... I know you have 3 more Big Ten picks, but let's get our first poll out there for everybody. The first poll has to do with week 2 in the Big Ten. Ask everyone what they thought I want to know what the biggest surprise was here. So I gave them 3 options. Illinois... wiping the floor with Duke. That was a lock for you last week. You were confident in Illinois.
Yep.
Started close, but my gosh, they took off in the second half and wiped the floor with them. The other one, 69-3, Oregon versus OK State. That's like a top FBS versus an FCS school type of score right there. And then we've had, I had to throw the Oklahoma-Michigan game out there. That big game. Both teams wanted to win it. So, our dwellers can tell us what they thought was the biggest surprise.
I'm pretty sure I know we talked in the 10 big things about Oregon and scoring all the points. Well, Mike Gundy did not do his team any favors by running his mouth before the game and basically put Dan Lanning in a position where he said, hey, you want to cry? We're going to give you something to cry about. And they did.
Well, we'll keep that open for a bit. Get your votes in, Steve, and you can go to the next pick.
Okay, so Western Michigan at Illinois. The Illini off to a great start to the season. They get that huge win at Duke. Very good out-of-conference game for them. I think they're set up very well in the Big Ten this year. I think they're going to do really well. I love, the experience and just the confidence Luke Altmaier is playing with. In that Duke game, he had right about 300 yards and 3 touchdowns passing. But honestly, just big play after big play. Anytime that they needed a third down conversion, they needed a touchdown, whatever, he came through every single time on the road with big play after big play. And yes, Duke did make some mistakes, but on the other hand, Illinois with an experienced quarterback, experienced team, they capitalized on every one of those mistakes and punched it in the end zone. That's what great teams do.
Sure.
They capitalize on those mistakes and they punch in the end zone. I think they're going to keep on doing that. Western Michigan at Illinois, the line is 27.5, and I'm taking Illinois to cover that 27.5 points.
Yeah, they're starting to roll. They're the team that you said they were going to be, as you mentioned in the 10 big things. People are starting to take notice about this Illinois team, and it's only going to continue. So, nice pick. Yeah. And where are you going next, Steve-O?
This game, UMass at Iowa. The line is 35.5.
That's a lot.
Iowa did score around that many points in one of their games this year. I think Iowa will win this game. They're a lot better team. Yep. They will win it convincingly. Yep. Heck, they could win this game 24-3 and just be absolutely dominant, but I don't see them outscoring anybody right now by 35.5 points. So I'm taking UMass plus the 35.5. And I'm ready to cash it.
That's a big line versus Iowa.
Yeah.
I made the kind of the joke on the 10 big things about the point scoring for Iowa, and man, that's a lot of points against Iowa.
And UMass is terrible. Like, don't get me wrong, they are terrible. But Kirk Ferentz, he gets up by 20 points. He's not going to keep scoring.
He's going to run to get the game
sit
over.
on it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you just get the game over.
Yes, exactly.
Totally agree. All right. We'll do one more, your last Big Ten pick.
Yes.
And then we will. I'll close the poll.
Okay.
So get your votes in.
So this next game, to me, you might be surprised at this. This is the Big Ten game of the week, in my opinion, by far, for sure. It's an out-of-conference game. Huge game for Minnesota. So Minnesota is traveling across the country to Berkeley to play at Cal.
Okay.
Minnesota is a 1.5-point favorite. I think they should be a close to a touchdown favorite. So I'm taking Minnesota to cover the 1.5, and I'm making that another Big Mountain ice cold lock. I think Minnesota's a lot better team. I think Cal is a little better than people expected.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, maybe the Cal is good this year. They do look like they found a quarterback. I think Minnesota's just a really solid all-around team. They have found their quarterback.
Yeah.
He's really good. The running game is doing well. The defense is playing well. They're just a solid all-around team. They do not get enough respect out of the Big Ten. I don't think so. I think they're going to go in there. They're going to win comfortably by a touchdown or more. And that's why I had to make it a Big Mountain Ice Cold lock.
I love it. Well, I'm already on 2 of your 3 because you gave me the Oregon and USC, days ago. Went on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
And I'm not on this one, but I'm not surprised with your pick. I'm not surprised that you locked it, and I will be putting money on this as well. Those will be, I think, the only 3 Big Ten games that I bet this week will be your 3 locks. I like them all.
Makes sense.
Let's close the poll, and then we'll let Steve do his last pick. We'll see what everybody was most surprised with. 66% the Oregon OK State complete annihilation of the Pokes there. Are they what are they? The Cowboys, right?
Yeah. I don't think they call themselves the Pokes.
Whatever the heck they call themselves. Yeah. Complete annihilation, and then a couple votes there for the Illini game and the Oklahoma-Michigan game. Not surprised. I mean, that's just that's a beating.
Yeah. So, well, here, if anybody would have said Illinois Duke, I would have slapped them because, maybe I do need for the 16%. Maybe they weren't watching our because I told everybody that Illinois was going to win that game and going to win it comfortably. Now, 45 points, that is a lot of points.
I would say I put that on there not because Illinois won, but because the point differential is why I put that on.
Yeah, and it was a really close game in the first half. It got away from Duke there a little bit. But yeah, let's just say I wasn't surprised at all that they comfortably beat Duke. Okay.
Well, you got one more out of conference.
Yeah.
Good old Clemson. This is a game right here, I think.
Yeah, if Big Mama 69's on tonight, this might hurt her feelings. Clemson at Georgia Tech. Clemson they're still working on things. They're, everyone's talking about Cade Klubnik and how he hasn't been as good as they thought. To me, I've looked at some really good breakdowns of this team and their performance. It's all coming down to their running game. They have they're getting like 1.3 yards a carry, which is way, way, way down there. And their running game is just abysmal. They're not getting anything out of it. If you watch the what was the first game they played? Clemson.
Oh hell, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, anyways,
I don't follow.
Oh, LSU, Clemson, LSU.
That's what it was.
And everyone made a big deal. Oh, Cade Klubnik didn't come through. Well, it was run on first down for 1 yard, run on second down for negative half a yard,
right,
and then on 3rd and 9, you got to throw and get a first down when everybody knows that you're, that this is what you're doing. So. It was pretty rough, and it's continued to be rough. I like how this Georgia Tech team has been playing this year. Mm-hmm. Haynes King is coming back. He was out a game. I'm taking the Georgia Tech plus 3.5. I'm a little surprised with how the teams are playing right now that Clemson was the favorite in this. So I'm taking Georgia Tech plus 3.5. I love getting these points. The game is in Atlanta.
Yep.
Georgia Tech's just playing better right now. The end of the season, I think Clemson will be the better team and have the better season, just like last year.
Right.
They came back in the second half. They won the ACC championship. Yeah. But right now, how these teams are playing and getting Haynes King back, I love taking Georgia Tech plus 3.5.
Okay, I'm not surprised by that pick, again, as the teams are playing right now, and I'm happy that you're picking this game.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, Steve will pick Clemson and FSU because those are two teams that Steve has been following closely over the past couple years. Schools that we believe are going to be headed to the Big Ten here in a couple years.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Well, there are your picks. I see people that some people agreeing with the UMass pick. I see quite a few people not agreeing with the Minnesota pick. They're liking Cal in that game. JEH, Will, Eric. So a couple of people, that's okay. Although I'm seeing a lot of people. Well, we got some discourse here in the GT Clemson. We got John saying GT. We got Steven saying GT. Zyler's on GT. We got Spence. He liked Clemson by 10 here. So good. Bill likes GT. So we're down. Oh, Big Mama is in the house.
Yeah, she says worst pick of the night.
You knew that was coming. But yeah, it looks like everybody, well, not everybody, most are headed towards your pick there with Georgia Tech with those points. Although Spence says in Dabo we trust. No. It's in Gloria we trust. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. So, all right, let's go. What's Zyler say here? Or Tyler, I'm sorry. JY. You know what? I have to do an update, Tyler, and I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks in terms of the Mountain West membership, media, because there hasn't been any news. So I'm not going to give you the answer right now, Tyler, but I'm gonna put something together with my thoughts on the Mountain West. I'll certainly include North Dakota State and Tarleton State because they're the two schools we have been, following very, very closely. Two schools that I would love to see in the Mountain West. So I'm going to try to get that out next week. That's been something I've been thinking about for a few weeks and just haven't gotten around to recording it. So stay tuned. I'll try to answer your questions. I know, Bison fans are beyond done waiting to move to FBS. I totally understand where you're coming from there. So, all right, let's go to my picks.
Okay.
I've got 4 Mountain West, and I've got 4 outside the Mountain West Conference.
Love it. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what game you're locking.
And I'm just going to say, I may do, because you get these games, these FBS, FCS games, they get lines like either late Friday or early Saturday.
Yeah.
Depending on some of these lines, I may do a game day pick. I haven't done them for a while, but I may do game day pick on Saturday.
I always love it. You do those short Saturday morning.
Short, yeah. So stay tuned for a possible game day pick this week. But we'll go to the ones that at least we have lines for now. The first one, of course, being one that you already picked, the New Mexico at UCLA game. You already gave your thoughts on that. Of course, we just had the big UNLV versus UCLA game, so you got a good kind of feel for where the Mountain West versus, UCLA is at. Mm-hmm. We saw how well UNM did versus Michigan there in week 1. I think probably surprised some people how close that score ended up being. And the line here at 15.5 to me is just too generous not to take the points with the Lobos. Yeah. So I'm agreeing with you here, Steve, that getting over 2 touchdowns with the Lobos, I'm comfortable with. I'm not going to lock it, but just too many questions. Again, like things that you said, too many questions there with UCLA. I like how UNM has started. Jason Eck has done well already. You saw what they've done in the first 2 weeks. They've got a good running game. So, this is too many points for me to give up. Like, I don't think UNM's going to win the game.
Right.
I don't think they're going to win it. But 15.5 is a lot of points.
Yep.
So that is my pick for that game. All right, next game. Middle Tennessee traveling to Nevada. Nevada, who eked out a win here against Sac State last week in the final, minutes of that game. Probably a lot closer than maybe Nevada really wanted it to be. Coach Choate really wanted it to be. But Sac State here, a team that kind of like UNLV, there's a lot of new players. Mm-hmm. They do have talent that has come in there, but it's hard to sometimes get those players all on the same page. And that was one thing that Dr. Wood mentioned to me, like, all right, he's ready for going on a 5-game win streak here and stuff. So we'll see what Sac State does. But I'm picking the Nevada Middle Tennessee game. Middle Tennessee here not a good team.
Not at all.
Struggled mightily in the beginning of this season.
Yep.
A Nevada team I like. I like Chubba Purdy. He struggled last week throwing the ball, but he ran the ball really well. The line here, 8.5. I'm going to take the Wolf Pack, and I'm making this a Big Mountain ice cold lock.
Wow.
I love the Wolf Pack in this game. I think, they've had some close games to start the season. Well, close. Sorry. They had a close game in week 2. They played Penn State there in week 1. They did cover against Penn State. And I think they're ready to just kind of break out. Like, okay, we played Penn State in week 1. We kind of got over it. We had a closer game in week 2 than we really wanted to have. Let's take it to somebody. Yep. And I think this is the week they do it. I like this line. I think they win by 2 touchdowns plus. So very comfortable here with Nevada, and I'm a Purdy fan.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm a Nevada fan and Purdy fan. I would look for 2 things, and if 2 things can happen, then I think they will definitely cover this and hit the lock for you. One is I think the regular running game, not just Purdy, but like your running backs.
Sure.
They need to get going, get some production going.
Yeah.
Other than just him doing all the running.
Yeah.
And the second thing is I'd like to see Purdy's pass game get going a little bit. He's been a great he's been running the ball great.
Yeah.
But he needs to get that, if he can hit some passes, get some confidence going, and they can have a balanced attack where their running backs are playing well, he's throwing the ball well, and you have that extra threat of him running, I think that would do wonders for them as they get ready to enter Mountain West play.
For sure. So Tommy Gunn says he thinks UCLA goes to 0-3. So he thinks the Lobos pull the upset there. And the Collegiate Athletic Will, I'm going to call him Will, because that's his name. He's excited for this game. Jason Eck going to give them, a fun time. It's a Friday night game. I'm going to be able to watch it. I really haven't seen very much at all of this Lobos team yet live, and this is a game I will be watching from beginning to end, and I'm really excited. Tommy Gunn, of course, he's a UNLV fan.
Yeah.
I want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
So he thinks Reno is going to lose this game. Yeah. And, of course, he calls them Reno because he's a UNLV fan. So I hear you, Tommy Gunn. It's okay.
Boy, there was some UNR fans that you posted about UNLV being 3-0.
Okay.
I saw some UNR fans. They were pushing back. Well, they haven't played anybody. They got really sensitive about that. I was a little surprised. I do want to say, Tommy Gunn says that New Mexico will upset UCLA. I don't think that will happen. But, oh, my goodness, if that did happen, you would really have to question, does Deshaun Foster make it through the season? UCLA would be starting, I think, 0-3 and out of conference play. That would be an absolute disaster for them.
Okay, well, I'm confused because Tommy Gunn says, I believe he says UCLA goes 0-3, but then he says they will beat New Mexico. So that's counter.
He's confusing us.
I think he's had one too many brews. We're just kidding. All right, let's keep going here. So that is my 1 lock. So we have 4 locks here on the Big Mountain. Steve taking 3 locks, me taking 1.
Yes.
We're going to go to Utah at Wyoming. Yeah.
Las Vegas Larry is just laughing his butt off, but this is, which I can totally picture it if we were all together at the in Vegas again.
Tommy Gunn clears it up. He says New Mexico will lose to UCLA.
Okay.
Thank you for clearing us up, Tommy. Okay. Utah at Wyoming. Another game I'm anxious to watch, but as you have said, Utah, a fantastic team. They are underranked at 20 right now. I actually was on Locked On Utes, and I think he's going to release it tomorrow to preview this game. I'm the Wyoming guy, all of a sudden. And I appreciate him. It was, what's his name? JT Wistersill. Locked On Utes. If you guys are interested, I'm on with him. I think it's about a 20-minute segment. You can hear what I have to say. But I'm actually a little surprised at the 23.5 here. And I love my Pokes. I love them. But this Utah team is stupid good. The only way Wyoming can cover this is if they have a really good day running the ball and stopping the run. So they have to run well, and they have to stop the Utah run game. And that's asking an awful lot, because they need both of those things to happen. And that's asking an awful lot. So I am taking the Utes minus 23.5. That line's just too low for me to not take the Utes in this game. I don't know what to say. We take off all of our biases when we're picking games because we want to win money. We want to make good picks.
Yeah.
And, I want Wyoming to win, but when I'm making bets, Utah.
And Wyoming's they've had a solid start to the season. This game, it's going to be, they're playing, I think, one of the top 10 teams in the country. And if they, whether they cover, they don't cover, whatever, no shame as they move on to Mountain West play.
Right.
I want to talk about Utah here for a few seconds, if I may.
I know you love them.
So, yeah, again, I think they're probably a top 10 team in the country. I've been looking at their record. There's a good chance that they get to the college football playoff at undefeated, 11, 12 wins.
Okay.
Or at least, get to the I think, getting to the Big 12 championship game with 11, 12 wins. And then if they win that, they could get a pretty high seed, like top 4 seed in the college football playoff.
Okay.
I think they're that good. And you know who, other than we've been talking about Jaden Maeva, you know who else has been really climbing up the rankings as Heisman?
Devin Dampier?
Yes. And I know you liked Dampier a lot last year with New Mexico. I had totally forgotten that he had gone to Utah. Mm-hmm. You combine this, their offensive line is really good. They're good on both sides of the trenches.
They are.
They have a lot of good players that came back this year. Yep. They really just needed a quarterback, and Dampier looks damn good.
Yes.
So,
and when teams are going to have to sell out against the run, that's going to help his throwing game.
Yeah.
Because he's not a great thrower. He's a good thrower. He's not a great thrower. But when you have such a good line and such a good running game, with him included in that, guys are going to start coming up towards that line, and it's just going to help his passing game. Yeah. So anyway, but yes, I agree, Jack. Excited for the game. I'm anxious to see this Wyoming defense against a really good offense. Not because I want to see them, get lit up. I hope they don't. But I want to see what we got. We played Akron. We played Northern Iowa. I want to see what we got here against Utah. And, I said NIU.
Yeah.
All the time when we were talking about that game. Of course, it was UNI. But, whatever. We got NIU everywhere here. How can I not say NIU? Yeah. All right, let's go to my fourth and final game. In-conference game.
Okay.
I like the matchup. Air Force versus Utah State. The game in Logan here at Utah State. The favorite here is Air Force minus 4.5. 4.5. They've only played one game, so we don't have a huge. We haven't seen a lot of Air Force. We haven't seen a lot of anybody, but we really haven't seen a lot of Air Force. I like what they've shown. They brought most of this team back from last year. There was a passing game in their first game, which was incredible. Now, I know it was Bucknell. I understand. But I'm anxious for this matchup because I think it's a really good litmus test for where I think these two teams are and where I have the entire Mountain West kind of preseasoned in. So I am super anxious for this game. I love this Mountain West slate. It's a smaller slate this week. But, man, we got the Friday New Mexico UCLA game. I've got the Utah-Wyoming game. I've got the Air Force-Utah State game. Smaller slate, but I'm going to be able to watch the games, and I love it. But I'm taking Air Force here minus 4.5. I think they just have the bigger upside. They always have a solid defense. Their running game is fantastic. And I'm a little surprised that the line was only 4.5. I thought maybe it'd be closer to that touchdown, 6.5, 7.5. So I'm going to go Air Force minus 4.5, but anxious to see how these teams play each other.
Yeah, I think this game is really interesting this week. Probably the game of the week in the Mountain West as far as inside and on an out conference game. I think this game will be really telling for both of these teams how this season is going to go. If Air Force can do what you're saying you think they can do, which is cover that spread and win by a touchdown or more, I think that shows they're right back there. And Utah State, again, I think this is a big year for them. I think this is an opportunity to show that they can contend this year.
Yep.
If they win this game, they're showing that they can contend for a Mountain West title to get into that championship game. If not, it's more of just kind of a rebuild for next year as they go to the PAC.
Well, and I think Utah State outperformed versus UTEP, especially on the defensive side. And so, again, anxious to see them play this Air Force team. I see a lot of people saying this as well. Will says, sneaky game of the week here. Fia likes Utah State to win the game straight up. Will agrees. Surf City Bill's interested because Air Force plays Boise the next week. So, as we get into conference play, you get a lot more people interested in a lot of these games, as am I. So let's get to my 4 out-of-conference games. Of course, I've got to pick the UTEP game. UTEP at Texas. The line here, 41.5. You had mentioned earlier, there's some injury issues there with UTEP. And Texas so far, they haven't really set the world on fire. The only reason, I shouldn't say it was close, but what really helped Texas versus San Jose State was all the daggone turnovers that San Jose State allowed there in the second quarter. So if UTEP can control the ball here and not turn the ball over, 41.5 is just too many points.
It's a lot of points.
I'm taking the 41.5 with the Miners here. Don't worry, everybody. I put a different colored freaking cow on the damn thing so that nobody could laugh. I had like 5 of those this week where I had to kind of redo the logos. Yeah. So anyway, I got the correct steer or cattle or whatever.
Looks
the hell
nice.
It is. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm taking you. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the game. And I'm taking 41.5 with the Miners.
It's a longhorn for Texas.
I'm sorry. You're right. Whatever. Okay. Let's go to the PAC-12. I'm picking both. JEH, wake up. I'm picking both. Oregon State and Washington State. We'll start with the Oregon State at Texas Tech game line. 24.5. I know very early on, I think the very first chat that somebody put in, I think it was JEH, he's looking for a long snapper. Yeah. Anybody have an adequate long snapper here for the Beavs? They're looking for one. And Texas Tech here brought in tons of talent. They're going down to Texas here, the Beavs. Some people could argue without some of the mistakes and things, Oregon State could have beaten Fresno last week, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And I just think the talent level here is just too different. I have way too many question marks about the Beavers. I see people crapping all over Bray. Oregon State this year is almost like Florida State last year.
Yes.
When everybody started crapping on Norvell, like almost in week 3 or 4, he's the worst. He's the one everybody loves him all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's
amazing when you win or you lose.
I'm seeing a lot of people not so sure about this coaching situation, but I have to take Texas Tech here, minus 24.5. I think they just have way too much here for the Beavers. FIA thinks it should be an ice-cold lock. I'm not going to lock it. I rarely lock out of conference anythings, but I'm comfortable here taking Texas Tech minus 24.5.
Yeah, Texas Tech is loaded, and honestly, this year with just kind of what's going on with the Beavs and the way, like, they just keep making mistake after mistake.
Right.
You could just kind of keep picking against them until they show
you something. Yeah,
show something this year.
Yeah.
I hope they can get it figured out.
Well, I took Fresno State last week. They easily covered.
Yeah.
We'll see what Texas Tech can do, and it's not because I have ill will towards Oregon State. I just way too many questions.
The beaver emoji is pretty cool there.
The beaver emoji is very cool. Good job, Steven. He's crying for the poor beaver, though, which is adequate. All right, Washington State at North Texas. This line much closer, only 6.5. And, Washington State with a great game there versus San Diego State. The biggest boo-boo of my picks last week being a lock. North Texas, a solid team here. The line only 6.5. I'm going to go with North Texas. I just like them better. I still, I mentioned in our recap, I think it was in our recap, just kind of like mediocrity here. I was talking about Washington State and San Diego State. Like, they're just kind of mediocre teams. I think North Texas is better than a mediocre team. They're a decent team. We're under a touchdown, so I think UNT covers this touchdown and wins this game. So that's where I'm at with the Washington State game.
All right.
Last one. This was out of nowhere, but I have to pick this because I don't know why. I just do. Kansas State at Arizona. Kansas State at Arizona. Kansas State looking all kinds of...
bad.
Yes. Thank you. All kinds of questionable. They are the favorite in Arizona by 1.5 points. I am taking Arizona plus 1.5 because I think they're a good team. I like what Coach Brennan's doing there. He came over from San Jose State, building that program up. They're looking good. They can score some points. You saw what they did versus Hawaii. And as you said, Kansas State not looking like that team. So I am taking Arizona as the home dog, plus 1.5 in this game.
Yeah, I mean, home dog plus the points. I can't fault you.
Yeah, like I said, it has nothing to do with the Mountain West, but I saw the line and I went, yeah, that's a line I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
The other line I thought about picking was, and I told you about this one, Boston College and Stanford. I think the line's like 12.5-ish. I didn't make the pick, but, part of me wanted to just, as you said, pick against the Beavs.
Yeah.
I just want to pick against Stanford every week until they prove me wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not making the Stanford game a pick, but I kind of like Boston College in that game.
There's certain teams each year. Last year, Florida State, if you just kept picking against them, you would have made a lot of money. I went the opposite way of that last year. And maybe it's the Beavs this year. Maybe Kansas State, too. And Stanford, definitely. If there's a candidate, pick against Stanford every week. It might take Vegas till like week 10 to kind of figure out how bad they are.
Well, Will's saying I should have a little faith. I'm sorry, Will. These picks, as we've said, these are about betting picks.
Yeah.
Not about the teams. Hell, you saw what I did to my Wyoming Cowboys. But I see a lot of people kind of on the Arizona train here. You okay, buddy?
Yeah, okay. Just a little young.
Okay. Gosh, we got to end this. But Eric, I agree with him. Kansas State, the Ireland curse.
Yeah.
FSU had it last year. Like, holy cow, what are we doing over there? Nobody's going to want to go anymore.
Yeah,
depending on what Kansas State does here.
There's actually like a long running of teams that go. They do that travel at the very beginning of the season. I think, did they go week 0 or week 1 this year?
That was 0.
Okay,
it was 0.
They had moved it so the teams could do that on week 0 to get themselves a little extra rest.
Right.
But it does seem like that just kind of kills people, whether it's the length of the travel or Ireland. You got the Guinness pub there. You can have some fun there.
Well, in the build-up for a week 0
Yeah.
game. And in this, this was Kansas State versus Iowa State. Like, that's a huge game for those two teams in the Big 12.
If I tell you, if I go to Ireland for a football game and I start just drinking Guinness, I might not come back.
A ticket will be in your pocket.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
damn, I missed the game.
25-cent Guinness.
Another guinea pig. Nick knows you.
Yeah.
He says it's past your bedtime.
Oh, Nick. Yeah.
What was it? Las Vegas Larry's doing it right. He's just saying go Wildcats in the Kansas State versus Arizona game. You can't be wrong, right? You can't be wrong.
Can't be wrong. I will say, so I'm going to give a shout out to Nick.
Okay.
Old Navy buddy of mine, a retired first-class petty officer in the United States Navy. His son joined the Navy.
Awesome.
So an old shipmate of mine, great friend, and a big Tennessee Volunteers fan.
Sweet. Well, they're looking pretty damn good.
They're looking good. They have a huge game with Georgia. I told Nick, I texted him earlier in the week, and I said, I think you guys might get Georgia. Well, every day since then, I get ESPN updates. Tennessee Volunteers starting such and such is out. Starting left tackle is out. Starting guard is out. And it's just been one after another. So hopefully they can overcome those injuries. But it sounds like they have some people out for a huge game.
Eric is a UGA guy. Well, he's a West Coast guy. But he does. I think he has season tickets to UGA.
Wow.
And he was really wanting to go to Ireland until kind of the past couple of years. He's like, no, that's okay. Keep my Bulldogs out of Ireland. We'll stay down here in the South. So hey, that is where we're at. I don't think I have any other updates. Usually we try to tag on a little something, but I don't got anything unless you guys. Oh, I've got polls.
We got polls. Two more polls.
So let's go. We got 2 more polls. We'll knock them out real quick. So as I did, I see I wrote yours down. I didn't write mine down.
Yeah.
I do one for the Mountain West.
Yep.
And that was what was the biggest surprise in week 2. And so I picked the Fresno-Oregon State game, 36-27. I picked the UNLV-UCLA game, 30-23. And the San Diego State-Wazoo game, where Wazoo, 36, San Diego State, 13. And, I didn't have a lot of necessarily surprises. I don't think we thought the UNLV-UCLA game was a surprise. I picked UNLV. We both, I think, thought UNLV was going to win. But maybe some people think that's a surprise. So I put it on there.
Yeah. So let's see how that poll does.
Yeah.
Since we were kind of already done with our picks and we're out of things, there is another topic I wanted to talk about just in general. Well, first of all, we tried a new format this last week. We did 10 big things.
Yes.
I think it went really well. It was a lot of fun. It was rapid fire. So I'm going to try and keep that going. We'll look for that, I don't know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there after week 3 happens here. That was a lot of fun. I want to talk about just kind of throw some teams out there that are better. I think so far are better than expected, just not on the national level.
Okay.
Because we've been kind of crapping on some teams. So we talked about Utah. Utah, with Dampier at quarterback, they're doing really well. I had picked Arizona State to win the Big 12. If I could change my pick right now, it would be Utah for $100 million. I just love the way they're playing.
Yeah.
We talked about Boise and USF in that game.
Right.
And the Boise fans and everybody were really down. Oh, crap. I'm on their Facebook pages, and there's no way we can come back from this, blah, 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 blah. Look, you lost to a good USF team in September. It's hot as heck. You were on the road there in Tampa. And this is a team that, I mean, if I could I picked Tulane. If I could pick the American Conference winner right now, I would go with USF. And honestly, I would go with them to be the representative for the G6 in the CFP. So they've played really well. Is there any other teams that you can think of that have jumped out at you that it's just played?
USF's really the biggest one, and they're not overly surprising. I've always thought they had a good team, not to be 2-0 against Boise and Florida, and we'll see what they do against Miami. They absolutely jump out. UNLV 3-0.
Yeah,
it's not a huge surprise, but I was a little worried especially after week one. Like, okay, what is this team? So. They're set up perfect for potentially a CFP run, a Mountain West Championship run.
They have all their season goals.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. I think maybe the surprise on the negative, if I have to cherry pick one, I'll pick San Jose State sitting 0-2.
Yeah,
not where they want to be, not where I thought they'd be.
I really think I agree with you on that. Now, I will say for them, I think the proof is going to be in the pudding when they get into Mountain West play. Because if they handle their business in the Mountain West, they can easily get into that Mountain West Championship game.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe they don't get into CFP if they win it, but winning a Mountain West title this year would be huge for them.
Yep.
Let's talk on the other side. Some teams, they are who we thought they were. Stanford so far looks good. Looks not good. Looks like we thought they were going to be. In the Big Ten, Purdue and Northwestern have struggled a little bit towards the beginning of the season. UCLA is a team that I was down on. Everybody was talking about Luke Fickell and Wisconsin, and they haven't played very well. But Luke Fickell being on the hot seat, and I said, I'm not so sure. I think he'll make it through the season. I think people need to be looking at Deshaun Foster and UCLA.
Yeah.
If you look at the four teams that came over, Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon, I think they've both of them have kind of proved they belong. With their performance, Washington getting the national championship game a couple years ago.
Yep.
Oregon went undefeated through the Big Ten last year and looks like really good this year.
Yep.
USC, they're tracking. They look really good. They're scoring a lot of points. UCLA is that one team where people are going to start looking at them if they crap out like, why are they even here? Are they carrying their own weight? So I think that's a team that you have to look at. If I was going to say who is the most vulnerable Big Ten coach right now, it would be Deshaun Foster.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned UNLV. I actually already saw something today mentioning Dan Mullen for potential coaching. They're grasping. I mean, it's just they're throwing out names out there, but that shows you how quickly he's gotten things turned around at UNLV. People are looking at that 3-0 record. He's got the pedigree. I just kind of laughed this morning when I saw Dan Mullen's name being thrown out for multiple potential coaching vacancies.
Shows you how desperate people are too, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I would say the ones that you kind of mentioned, they're kind of where I thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
The three I would say right now are Wyoming. I thought they'd be 2-0.
Yeah.
They're 2-0. I would say I had three.
Okay.
Colorado State. I had concerns for them. After week one, I went, maybe not. And then after week two, I went, yeah, that's kind of who I thought. So I'm pretty sure Colorado State is kind of who I thought they
What about
would be.
San Diego State? Because after Stony Brook, you're like, oh, maybe they're good.
I'm not sure what they are.
Okay.
They're still, I would say San Diego. The biggest one I'm waiting to kind of really see, and I think this week is going to tell me a lot, and that's Utah State and Bronco Mendenhall.
Yeah.
I don't know where to rank them yet. Are they who I thought they were going to be? Are they going to be better than that? They're my kind of, probably my most unknown, honestly, is Utah State. And Yeah, I had another one that they are who I thought, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. All right, let's close this poll.
Okay.
We'll get to the last poll real quick. So we'll see what people thought was the most.
David Jorgensen.
Oh, David Jorgensen. 50% say the Fresno Oregon State game, and that would be actually no, I would have picked the Aztecs versus Cougars. That was my biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Just not even because Washington State won the game, but because San Diego State didn't look good. Like, I was very surprised by that game. I can understand the Fresno Beeve game as well. So let's get to our last poll, and then you can go ahead. Last poll is which week 3 game are you most kind of most looking forward to? And I just pick games that I think maybe people want to see. So if your game's not on here, I apologize. And you know what I just did? I went really quick, which messes up our producer.
Oh yeah, he's got to work his fast
He'll
fingers.
get it up there. It's your All right, here we go. I got 4 on this one.
Okay.
I got New Mexico, UCLA. We both talked about that game.
Yep.
And that's, of course, I got to put that one on because it's a freaking Big Ten versus Mountain West.
Yep.
I've got Minnesota and Cal. You mentioned the biggest game on your slate.
I think so.
Absolutely. I got. At least I didn't screw that up, Steve. I got Utah and Wyoming, and I've got Air Force and Utah State. So of those 4, which game are you most interested in here in week 3? I know which one you're going to. I mean,
I already said.
You said of any of them, it's still your.
Minnesota.
Because you're the Big Ten guy.
And I think these are 2 teams that were completely off the map.
Yeah.
Before the season started, and now they're starting to get some attention. So if either one, like if Minnie wins this and starts the season 3-0 with a nice out of conference win, or even Cal, if Cal wins this, that's a good out of conference. They've already exceeded expectations. I think it's a huge game for both those teams.
And mine would be the Air Force Utah State. I've kind of already said that. That's the game I'm most interested in to get the feel for both of those teams. I'm also interested to see how my Wyoming Pokes defense is going to hold up, if they hold up, against a really good Utah team. And I just have overall interest in the Lobo UCLA game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my most interesting game, but I am very interested in the game. So, anyway, we'll let that up for a little bit. Make sure you get your votes in. I think you had something else. Was it in a chat or something?
Well, a couple things. So, David Jorgensen made an appearance. So, I want to talk about Nebraska.
DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty.
He's right there.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he's a Nebraska fan. Go Big Red.
Oh, yeah, he's Go Big Red boy.
Yeah. And so, I want to talk about Nebraska for a little bit. I was high on them this year. So far, they've performed pretty well. I think they have one of the better out-of-conference wins in the Big Ten, that win over Cincinnati in Kansas City. They have a chance, I think it's next week, that they play. They're off this week. Next week, they play Michigan. So they could start the season. I can't remember if they played in week 0. So it's either 3-0 or 4-0, and have wins over Cincinnati, out-of-conference, P4 win, and have a win over Michigan. If they can win that game, I think they will win that game.
Okay.
Dylan Raiola has looked good. The team has just looked good. And the big thing with them is they basically have the easy Big Ten schedule this year. With 18 teams, there's going to be 2 or 3 teams every year that just have an easy schedule. They have the easier schedule, to get them to like 10 wins. So, and that, for me, that's what I look at. If you have a shot at getting to 10 wins in the Big Ten, and you have a nice out-of-conference win, a win over Michigan, I think that'd be huge for them. So hopefully David Jorgensen is still here. And Nick, so Nick is a Tennessee Vols fan, talks about Nico Amalama leaving, and he says he's a cancer. It's going to take Foster with him. Yeah, I mean, I won't go as far as to call Nico a cancer. He left for whatever his reasons were.
Money?
Could have been money. Whatever it was.
Okay.
Him and his family said that he wanted to go to a place that was going to showcase him better in an offense. Well, let me tell you, that's not UCLA so far. They can't protect him. They don't have much of a running game. He looked pretty good was it the second half against UNLV? Yes. He was moving around, completing some passes. I think he just I think he made a big mistake. And honestly, I think Tennessee getting Aguilar, it was a quarterback trade. I think they might have made out better in that trade. And whenever, again, I'm not going to call Nico a cancer, but I think the culture in the UCLA locker room is worse than it was before.
Sure.
And I think the culture in the Tennessee locker room is probably either just as good or maybe a little better.
Okay.
So overall, I think Tennessee made out great in that trade. And again, you got to keep your eye on UCLA this year. If there was one team where I could say they could fire their coach in season, that would be it.
Okay. Well, make sure you smash that like button on the way out. We're going to close this poll. I have a couple comments I want to hit, and then we're going to close this out in about 5 minutes. But here's the last one. So we've got Minnie and Cal being, well, we have a tie. Utah, Wyoming, and Minnesota and Cal. Oh, we have a tie for, man, if I keep reading,
tie,
we have a three-way tie. Well, you can see it there for yourself. A three-way tie.
Mini Cal, Utah, Wyoming, and Air Force, Utah.
I'm into all of it. I'm not surprised. I figured this would be split up a little bit because we got some Big Ten fans, we got some Mountain West fans, we got some mix in there. We've got some. So that's maybe the best poll we've ever done.
And we got some West. We got some fans that are just they love West Coast football, Western side of the country. So they're looking at that Cal game.
For sure. Okay, couple things. Nathan, he's on. Nathan Lara. He Bulldog fan. Shout out to our Bulldog fans that are on. We're going to hear from him more, I'm sure, as thing goes on. He had the money line on Saturday versus the Beavers. So that's a nice little hit for him. And then I saw Surf City Bill was talking about that Beware of Bulldog podcast with Caleb. He's back in charge. He had to stop it for a bit, and then he came back. We may have him on here eventually, too. Fia asked about a court update. I don't think, well, who knows? It's just going to depend upon how long it takes for the judge to get that ruling out. It's not going to take overly long. Maybe the end of the week. I would say probably more like next week till they get that written up and published. And just a reminder, we did our power rankings today, and we also have a cool idea. Somebody says we should do like a top 10 power ranking for the G6. And I thought, that's great. Maybe the off weeks, every other week, we can do our typical TBM power rankings, and then next week we can do a G6 power ranking if you're up for it.
I think that's a cool idea.
We can just kind of go back and forth on power rankings.
And maybe we can talk about it some more. Maybe we could include an extra voter or two.
That would be fun.
They have some expertise in G6.
That would be fun. Yeah. Maybe we can have a special guest come on and or at least provide insight.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it. But it was a commenter said we should do a G6 ranking.
I like it.
I love everything G6, and I thought it was a great idea. So we may be getting that out here starting next week. So, hey, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. That was week 3 of our picks. We got 4 locks for you, and hopefully our stats that we showed you this week will improve for next week. I think yours will.
Yeah.
I know yours will. And so with that, hey, thank you guys so much. Smash that like button. I know you all are all subscribed. We appreciate all the chatter there in the Dweller. And we'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.
Cock it and lock it.